Am I the asshole for leaving my party for beating cancer? I, 35-year-old male, am a very private person. I have no social media and don't want my wife, 32-year-old female, posting photos of me, although I don't tell her not to. I just don't ask her to post about me. When it comes to celebrating Father's Day or my birthday, I don't like attention on me and prefer to keep things low-key whenever I can. So, keeping that in mind, I was diagnosed with an extremely curable type of skin cancer. It was caught very early on, and I never felt scared for my life in any way. I think analytically as an engineer, and wasn't scared with a diagnosis that had a 0.03% fatality rate. Still, I informed my wife, and she was terrified. We talked through it, and I reassured her that my doctor was very optimistic and that we had caught it early on, etc. None of it seemed to help, but I tried. After a while, I suggested to my wife that we shouldn't tell our kids, who are 5 years old and 7 years old. My wife wanted to tell them, but I was adamant about not doing so, as I wasn't even sure they would understand what we were talking about. Reluctantly, she agreed not to tell them. About a week later, I received a call from my dad asking about my cancer. It turned out that my wife had posted on Facebook about my cancer that morning. I called her and expressed my unhappiness that she had shared my personal information online, using the excuse that I hadn't explicitly forbidden her to post it, only not to tell the kids. There was no way she could have thought I wanted that information posted online, regardless of what I had said. She took it down, and time passed. Very quickly, I went into remission with my skin cancer, and my doctor told me, word for word, "We don't like to say you're cured, but you're cured." I shared the news with my wife, and she was ecstatic. She told me she had been worried all this time, which I could tell, and was glad we had put this all behind us. I thought we could move past this too. This weekend, I returned home on Friday and noticed many cars parked on the street, some in my driveway. I couldn't recall any birthdays or anniversaries I had missed, but I entered anyway. It turned out to be a party celebrating my remission diagnosis. I was mortified by this. My wife had never done anything like this, and we had discussed how I would dislike a surprise party multiple times. I inquired about the gathering and said, "I'm sorry, but I didn't know you had planned this. I'm just here to grab some files and then head back to work." It was a lie. I gathered some meaningless files in my office, thanked everyone for coming, and left to go back to my office, pretending to work on my phone until everyone had departed. My wife knew I was lying, and we argued that night. I told her I didn't understand what had gotten into her, emphasizing that she knew I would never want such a celebration, and that she shouldn't make a big deal out of something personal that I had never wanted to be public in the first place. We have been distant all week, and my brother mentioned that I was TA since I had pretended to go to work. So, am I the asshole for not wanting to celebrate beating my cancer?
Here are a few passages to inspire based on the dynamics of this story. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Lucius Annaeus Seneca. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, "I will try again tomorrow." Mary Ann Radmacher. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. Alan Saunders. Thanks for listening to Am I the A Soul? Keep uplifting every day.